You guys think the first guy that went nah 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 is still getting royalties to this day? It's an interesting font, isn't it? Yeah, I'm in rare fucking form today. Airbenders was written in this Eastern brushstroke font to really capture the vibe they were going for with the world, but Korra seems to be really roughly cut out of stone, maybe, which kind of gives you an even more ancient vibe than Airbenders, but the show's the exact opposite. Weird, don't you think? Also, good thing they only put a line under this O. Wouldn't want to get it confused with an upside down O. We have the same eerie sound they used on Zahir for our title card here. Wow, a lot to talk about even before we get into the episode. Susan is standing here, clearly with no pedestals with metal on them behind them, but suddenly they're here in this shot. Korra doesn't just dodge this first one, you can see her subtly actually bend it a bit too. In what world does that result in someone going flying? I guess maybe all the bending force caught up to the spooled wire on Korra's hip and added up?
I can't believe I'm sparring with the Avatar. I can't believe I'm stuck with her friend.
Korra expertly uses her off-screen untangle method to get right back into the sparring.
Trial by fire. It's the best way to learn metal bending.
Well, I mean, if this sound effect is to be believed, they're basically the same thing.
Woohoo! Metal bending champion!
Korra does a very similar celly here to when she blasted those guys during her firebending exam.
No one appreciates my raw veggie wraps like you do.
Every time I eat raw kale, I'm gonna think of you.
Who cares about the kale? What are you guys drinking?
Check out my latest invention, an airbender finder.
I think it's broken.
It's not broken, she needs to airbend into it. How else do you expect the thing to work?
Vera continues to be just a bright, shining light of comedy this season.
I can't hear anything. I hate sitting down here. Not because of you.
Opal, none of us could be more proud of you. Here's to Opal.
You think they get fresh fruit for these trays for every meal? Or, like, who's gonna bite into an entire pear when they're being served a 3-course pirate chef meal?
You're an incredible daughter, sister, friend.
And your neck is just almost scarily long. Yeah, so what is the reasoning here? They just spent 3, 4, maybe more days here just because Opal was here? Surely there's more airbenders out there you should be rounding up. Isn't that your self-appointed mission? After we secured Opal's spot in the north, shouldn't you have just hit the road immediately?
Lock it down for the night.
This nobody guard with his throwaway line actually turns out to be Kuvira once again. Easy to miss. For some reason, this guard person has a shower rod they use as a weapon. I don't know, no other guards ever have like a pole or anything.
Let her go!
Oh, hit him with the fucking chit-sang. Oh, hit him with the fucking... You know what? No one's ever done that before. And this is the point I wanted to make on combustion bending. Even though Combustion Lady can fire them seemingly much quicker and also bend them around corners, it seems like her output in power is a lot less than Combustion Man's when he's really swinging for the fences. Even with Combustion Man, though, we see some shots with seemingly more and less power, but hers seem much less basically every time. I'm just saying, if Combustion Man hit this bridge at basically the same spot twice, I don't think there'd be much bridge left. But I think the trade-off works. Less power for a faster rate of fire and the ability to control your shot. It seems Combustion Bending is a lot more like other bending than you might figure right away. There's different skill sets within it and pros and cons for the way you choose to operate. Two and her sons here all strike a similar pose, but with their arms twisted different ways, which is a cool subtle detail in that they're doing very similar things while they're building this dome, but obviously each doing different parts of it from different directions.
Release the Avatar.
So I could beat her ass in a few years. I'm just saying, sure would be a boon if anyone here could earthbend and maybe just shoot up the ground out from underneath these guys, since they've kind of horribly cornered themselves unless they commit to giant mobility moves. Darn, if only we had one single earthbender here, but we're stuck with just Mako and Bolin and the Beifongs and the metal bending guards and Asami. Wait, that's it? Asami, go find an earthbender, do something this season, you can do it!
There's no way to cross that moat.
No way to cross the moat? Who the hell cares? You're one light splashing over this waist-high blind wall from all being horribly maimed by the lava bender. How about we worry about some real cover first?
She's a combustion bender. If one of you can stun her, her powers will be knocked out temporarily.
Bolin can land a shot.
I can?
Alright. Nice little foreshadowing with this moment from earlier.
Open the hatch.
This dome is fucking enormous. No way they look like they're that close from up here.
It's Bolin time.
All right, Bolin time. Bolin time!
God, this would have been so much funnier if he just said this unprompted. Once again, I call upon the experts in my comments. Why does this effect they're trying to do sometimes look so bad? It was the same with the Dai glove that one time. Is it because the projectile is so clear when the rest of the quick motions are usually blurred? Is that why my brain doesn't like it so much? What is it, artists / animators? See what I mean? Just make the shot a little wider and higher and it's whatever. Good game. Basically cast the waist-high wave lava variation.
Are we a go?
No go.
Copy that, we're a go.
I said no!
That's why the phonetic library is like that, you donkey, so miscommunication is nearly impossible. Say November, you idiot, or, I don't know, winter solstice, since you guys don't have November. You guys ever have that moment where there's a spider on your ceiling and you're just like, ah, but then after that you think, literally, why did I look up there? Like, what reason did I have to look there? I think this one's particularly annoying since The Rock is in weird slow motion, but everything else doesn't seem to be, and it's just like, so there, you know? I'm just gonna say it, Mako. If you had the shot to take out Minghua's water arm, why didn't you just blast Minghua at that point? Ah, yeah, get her now. Genius.
No!
You know what? It's kind of a similar move to when Aang saved Momo that one time. Guess it's hard to do much more when you're on the glider. Cool to see Sue's acrobatics and skills at this sort of hanging from a tether thing come into play here. I feel like it would be pretty hard to write themselves into a situation where that would be naturally applicable, but I think they did a pretty decent job here. Even though I guess the basis is that the people trying to escape purposely horribly cornered themselves and got surrounded. I guess in a bid to just outshoot the entirety of Zaofu after reinforcements arrived.
We failed!
Man, would have been really useful if you just did that to whip up some cover instead of trying to do the much longer version a minute ago. Overall, I like the idea for the action scene though. A cover shoot or conflict isn't something we've ever seen, despite the last series being during a war, which kinda lends itself to that. This is sorta what I mean. When you think about a Korra Season 3 action scene, this is one you definitely remember, because the setting and concept of the fight itself is interesting and unique.
This should neutralize the Shirshu toxin.
The darts were of course Shirshu darts, which is the creature Nyla is, or was I guess.
How could you let this happen? You assured me this was one of the most secure places in the world.
Relax, Lynn. We've got the enormous magnifying glass with a bend in the handle right over there. We'll get to the bottom of this. As long as it doesn't come to life and start evolving again, we should be fine.
We searched the entire estate, but there's no sign of them. Well, keep
Oh no, it's doing it again!
What is your full name? Where were you last night?
You know what's crazy? I don't really have anything to say about the lie detector interrogation scenes. I think they're just good, pretty effective, and there's not really anything they do wrong or overly spectacularly right. I could say Varric is whack again, but you guys already know I think that. But other than that, I just think it's good.
I mean, how does a random guard get involved with a group of super criminals anyway?
What do you mean?
That guard is only 18 years old and has lived in Zaofu his entire life. Zahir and his gang have been in prison for more than 13 years.
Mako's background as a detective comes in handy. This season even finds a way to fit in previous roles our characters had to play into beats that are currently happening. Everyone else accepts this story at face value, but Mako's got an eye for this stuff. You can really tell this season had a lot more thought put into it.
I don't know, but we all saw the evidence. It's pretty overwhelming.
Maybe a little too overwhelming?
Hey, Varric!
Somehow the fit got even worse.
And when you got calluses like mine, you take all the pumice stones you can get your hands on.
Stop nudging me like we're pals. You ruined me and then only unruined me for your own personal gain.
What were you saying about the evidence?
I was saying that I can smell a conspiracy when I see one.
I can smell a conspiracy when I see one. Does anyone else think that line just sucks?
If I was trying to set someone up, I would tell everyone he's guilty and then plant the evidence in his apartment as proof.
Oh, you mean exactly like what you did to me?
So speaking of which, I feel like this might have gotten lost in my videos. Those two idiot cops did not plant that evidence and then find it, despite the scene really giving off that vibe. Those two idiot cops are just lazy and dumb, and that was their whole role.
All the evidence points to this guard, but maybe he's just the fall guy.
But for who?
For the only person who can truly keep a secret in this city. Aiwei.
You know what? I've always liked this twist. Having the living lie detector be the villain and naturally be able to cover his own tracks due to his ability is super interesting. Good job. I'm way into that.
He's not home. Or he's hiding in there. Or he's invisible.
Just gonna let you sit with this line for a few uninterrupted seconds. Here, I'll play it again.
He's not home. Or he's hiding in there. Or he's invisible.
Alright, moving on. Damn, this dude don't even lock his door. I guess the entire city closes at night, but still, man.
Oh, it's like a desert on a jar.
Bolin, put that back. We don't want Aiwei to know we were in here if we can't find anything.
Okay, suddenly Bolin's brain has been turned to mush in this scene. What happened? We were getting somewhere with him learning to be a little more emotionally intelligent. So far in the season, he seemed at least a base level of competent and intelligent at every turn. Maybe a little too trusting, but other than that, I don't like when they just turn Bolin into a moron.
What do you think is down there?
Something attached to this ominous wire you're all ignoring for some reason, and if it's not that ominous wire, it's definitely this one.
You are trespassing on the property of one of the highest-ranked officials in the city. You had better have a good explanation.
We came here because things weren't adding up, and we thought you might have some answers.
Tap, 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 tap.
So,
He ain't even pour himself a cup. That's some vampire behavior, bro. Do not drink that shit.
but if it wasn't him, who do you think it was?
We don't know.
Cap, why are you even lying to this guy? That wasn't even like a clever half-truth. I feel like this scene does alright. There's a pretty decent little build-up cooking. The music is rising, Aiwei notices things are off, Asami is forced to lie, and then it's all about to kick off, and he just raises a wall and bounces. It's sort of an anti-climax, but you still get to reveal that Aiwei is in fact involved, so I'm of two minds on the execution. Korra opened the door, so she was definitely at the front of the group, but now she seems to be in the middle, or maybe even at the back.
Look! He must have escaped through there. Help me clear it out.
What happened? We heard an explosion.
Where the hell were you? You guys were right down the road or something? You guys at that hot dog stand? I hear it's good.
Your trusted advisor was the one who betrayed us. He was lying about the guard.
What? No.
Yes.
This is where Zahir got in and out. Aiwei was the traitor.
I trusted him.
So close. It's pronounced way.
Aiwei is a fugitive. Get all available guards to search the mountainside. And find out where this tunnel exits immediately.
What the hell? She doesn't take orders from you. Who the hell do you think you are?
We're going to hold off our search for airbenders and hunt down Aiwei. Naga can track his scent.
And I bet if we find Aiwei, we'll find Zahir.
No, we're not hunting this group. There could be other secret agents in other parts of the world looking for you right now.
But she's right. Korra is, I mean. Go beat their ass. As long as they don't have the jump on you, it should be a pretty advantageous situation. You're nuts and have the Avatar state. The only way I see Zahir and Minghua winning is if you keep giving them the time and space to plot shit out, come up with a plan of attack, and catch you by surprise. And what's your idea otherwise? Lin seems only interested in protecting Korra, but what, for life? You gotta take these guys down at some point, and why take a wrecking ball that you have on your side out of the equation? I know Korra is their goal, but I think being on the attack is the safest she can be.
Korra, listen to Lin.
But they...
Please. Lin's only looking out for you.
Sue's little moment here is nice, seeing that her sister is in fact trying to do what's right in the face of the younger, rebellious one that's trying to do what she wants. Sound familiar?
Sue.
You really think Naga could track Aiwei?
Ah, never mind. Some people never change.
There's a jeep packed with supplies by the East Gate.
A Jeep? Like the brand from real life? I know it's basically interchangeable in the lexicon, but it's like if they said, hey, do you have any band-aids? This episode's pretty good. A step back up from last episode, that's for sure. We definitely needed an encounter with these guys on the books because we're past the halfway mark of the season now, and it's all really been build up. So it's good to fit that in. The episode really comes in two parts. First, the cover shooter action scene, which I praise for its uniqueness. There's a few of my nitpicks that bother me, but most people can just hand wave those problems, no problem, so. And after that, it turns into this pretty interesting plot of digging up this conspiracy with a twist that, as I've said, I liked as well. My only real complaint now is that at this point, we really do feel pretty stuck in Zaofu. Up until now, we've spent about half of this season just sitting around here, and you can start to feel like we've just traded Republic City for this place. And we have even less to do because of it. But we're moving on after this episode, so that problem is dealt with now. Now, if we can just stay focused here, we might have a really, really strong season moving forward. Patron shoutouts if you want to see the next 2 episodes of Overanalyzing Korra ahead of the YouTube releases. You can support me on Patreon for just a few bucks. Link, as always, is in the description below the video. Biggest shoutouts of all go to my top patrons, Blanco, who would do fine in a zombie apocalypse because they spent most of their summers when they were younger building up an immunity to bites. Cameron Lowry, who is the only person that I personally know that is just at home in a trapeze act as they are doing brain surgery. Chief Conquiqui, who I saw break 3 of their limbs on purpose just to prove they could climb a ladder truly one-handed. Gene Cree, who shoulder pressed some fog off a baseball diamond, and that's impressive. Look that shit up. Fog is heavy. Gyro-like, who learned to river dance so well it can literally create rivers. Luna Invicta, who yes, sleeps in a coffin, and fine, they can turn into a bat, but they're sick and tired of these blood-sucking rumors. Matthew Lang, who strangely doors aren't locked for. No one knows why. The boys down the tavern call him Skeleton Hand. Potato Scream, who has a garden that's so pure that animals that steal from it tend to run about 25% faster. The former meaning of life, who created their own 4-mile labyrinth trying to draw in a minotaur. No luck yet though, only a couple manticores and a griffin. The 1am party, who who slayed the monster the energy drinks are named after, so now they have infinite energy. And Whitrow, who has a different doomsday device for every day of the calendar year, so if you want a dooming, make sure you schedule the right one with them ahead of time. And of course, my other Fuck You Money patrons, a stack of pancakes, Donut, Kevin Bardlin, Liquor Cause I Know Her, Omega Fighter, Tater of Tots, and that one Turian. And my God Overanalyzers, Two Boots Are Beat, Aang, Alan Garvin, Andrew Watchett, Aropataro, Axolotl Syndicate, Carlo Wren, Chandler Crump, Cosmic Newbie, Dr. Xerox, Dominic Saint, Stricker, Emma Not Emma, Aaron Grace, Fire Lizard 44, I'm a Match, Jace, Jackson, Jeremy Rubenstein, JCare4215, John Ajaka, Justin Scott, Mac, Medium D Speaks, Michael Fellin, Mitchell Gobrecht, Nick, Nicholas Abbott, Peter Bayron, Pogger White, Revenge of the Beefsteak Tomatoes, Rocket Mist, Ryan Maxwell, Scoobert, Shane Antonacci, Silk Toast, Smarty Marty, Princess Useless Backwards, Super Snipper, Totoro, Boba Rose Musical Emporium, Triple Threat, Von Can't Spell, and some sort of bear face right at the very, very end. I wonder what that is. Next up, it's a lot of sitting around, but you know,